20. Taarifa hiyo potofu inasambazwa kupitia mitandao ya kijamii hasa WhatsApp.
Katika kutekeleza jukumu hilo, kifungu cha 35B cha Sheria ya Taifa ya Uchaguzi sura namba 343 kikisoma pamoja na kifungu cha 41(1) cha Sheria ya Uchaguzi wa Serikali za Mitaa sura namba 292 kinaipa tume mamlaka ya kutangaza katika gazeti la serikali tarehe ya uchaguzi. Mamlaka hayo yanatekelezwa kwa mujibu wa kifungu cha 37 kifungu kidogo cha kwanza A cha Sheria ya Taifa ya Uchaguzi sura namba 343 ambacho kinaielekeza Tume ya Taifa ya Uchaguzi kutangaza tarehe ya uchaguzi baada ya kuvunjwa kwa Bunge la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Kwa kuwa bunge halijavunjwa, tume haijatoa wala kutangaza ratiba yote ya uchaguzi mkuu mwaka 2020. Hivyo ndugu wananchi, tume inawaomba muendelee kuipuza taarifa hiyo ya mitandaoni, kwani si taarifa rasmi na imeandaliwa kwa nia ovu. Tume itatoa ratiba ya uchaguzi mkuu muda utakapowadia kulingana na matakwa ya kisheria.
Kilimo holela cha mpunga kisichofuata taratibu kimesababisha kukauka kwa vyanzo vya maji vya asili na kusababisha adha ya kukosekana kwa maji safi na salama kwa wakazi wa wilaya Kishapu mkoani Shinyanga.
Zamani tulikuwa tunasema kwamba vyanzo vya maji vinaharibiwa kuchoma nyasi, kukata miti, lakini nimegundua adui mkubwa wa uharibifu wa vyanzo vya maji ni majaruba ya mpunga. Kila eneo lilokuwa linatoa maji lilolimwa majaruba, maji yamekauka. Inafikia mahali watu wanatembea kilomita 10, 15, lakini ni kwa sababu tu aliruhusu mtu mmoja akalima majaruba. Ukipita Kishapu hakuna mto, kuna majaruba. Sasa watu hawajui na kwamba ni kosa wewe uliyelima jaruba kwenye mto, ni kosa.
Niseme tu wenzetu wa TCRS, sisi tunawapenda sana, tunawapongeza sana na tutashirikiana na nyinyi kwa yale mazuri mlioyafanya, kwa maana ya kutuwezesha katika miradi. Tutatunza miradi ile na kuiendeleza ili lengo la kumsaidia huyu mwananchi liendelee kuwa lengo endelevu.
Tumeweza kufanya yale ambayo yako ndani ya uwezo wetu kuisaidia hii wilaya hii ya Kishapu, na chanzo kikubwa ni uharibifu wa mazingira. Pia tumeweza kutoa elimu ya kuweza kuwafundisha wananchi jinsi gani ya kutoharibu haya mazingira ambayo yanasababisha kuwepo kwa uhaba wa maji katika wilaya hii ya Kishapu.
Baadhi ya madereva wa vyombo vya moto mtaa wa Lindi na Shauri Moyo wameiomba manispaa Ilala kukarabati shimo lililopo katikati ya barabara hiyo ili kuondoa changamoto ya uharibifu wa vyombo vya moto.
Bora kipindi hiki cha jua kuliko kipindi cha mvua. Cha mvua gari ndio hazipiti, sababu pale gari hizi asilimia kubwa ya cleaner iko chini, zinakunywa sana maji. Ina maana uharibifu unapatikana kwa swala la injini kipindi cha mvua kutokana na shimo hilo ni kero vibaya sana.
Changamoto hii naweza ngasema mpaka hivi sasa inaweza takriban miezi 5 hivi. Maana toka mwezi wa 10 mpaka leo katika mwezi wa 2 kama miezi 4 au 5.
Pengine jitihada za madereva juu ya kutatua changamoto hizo ni ipi kwa umoja wenu?
Tumeanza kuona jitihada zao, wameanza kule lini kuzibaziba vilaka. Sasa tunajaribu kuangalia watafika mpaka kwenye hili shimo au ndo wataishia leo zoezi lao walipoishia wakaondoka.
Hilo shimo serikali ndio inatakiwa ifanye mchakato ili kututengenezea. Tunaiomba serikali iweze kututengenezea hilo shimo.
Mwisho wa habari za saa kwa sasa. Habari za kimataifa kutoka Al Jazeera zinafuata.
Mitandao ya kijamii ITV, Facebook @ITV Tanzania, Instagram @ITV-TZ, YouTube @ITV Tanzania, Twitter @ITV Tanzania, website ni www.itv.co.tz, Telegram na WhatsApp ni 0678959752. ITV Tanzania.
Turkey's president threatens to push Syrian government troops back away from Turkish positions in northern Syria. Hello, welcome to Al Jazeera Live from Doha. I'm Martine Dennis. Also coming up.
Victory here is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump.
US Senator Bernie Sanders narrowly wins the first Democratic presidential primary vote in New Hampshire. A cruise ship quarantined off the coast of Japan reports the largest cluster of coronavirus cases outside China. And reports emerged the CIA secretly owned a Swiss company that produced software used to spy on diplomats and governments. But first, Turkey's president has threatened to strike Syrian government forces anywhere if another Turkish soldier is hurt in Idlib province. Recep Tayyip Erdogan made the declaration in a speech to his governing AK party in Ankara. 15 Turkish soldiers have been killed by Syrian government forces in recent fighting. President Erdogan says Syrian forces must be pushed back beyond Turkish observation posts by the end of February, and Turkey will not hesitate to strike back if there are any further provocations.
These attacks are directly targeting our soldiers and directly targeting Turkey. There is no more time for talk. We have to look at the realities on the field and act. By the end of February, the regime must be pushed behind our observation points. Whatever is needed on the ground or in the air, we are not going to have any hesitation, and we are going to act on it.
In just a moment, we'll be speaking to our correspondent, Sinem Koziolu. She's actually in northern Syria, in Bab al-Hawa. First, so let's go to our correspondent in Istanbul, Hashem Ahobara. And Hashem, a very tough, uncompromising message coming from President Erdogan. But was there anything new?
Well, basically, he had to show tougher stance when it comes to dealing with the latest developments in Idlib. And this explains why he was repeatedly saying that Turkey from now onwards will take the issue of Idlib on its own hands, and that if political talks fail with the Russians, and then Turkey will have no other option but to interfere militarily. And this explains why he was using repeatedly the term a stronger action against the Syrian government, lashing out at Russia, Turkey and Shia militias backing the Syrian, lashing out at the Syrians, the Russians, and also the Shia militias that are backing President Bashar al-Assad. But I think despite all those strong statements from President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, there's still some wiggle room for political maneuvering, and I think this explains why we've just got this latest news from the local media here that President Recep Tayyip Erdogan spoke a while ago with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Both agreed on the need to implement all the agreements about Idlib. Martin, this is the biggest problem that all the key players, the Russians and the Turks, will face in the near future. If they want to implement the Astana and the Sochi agreements, this means that the Syrian government has to pull out from all the areas it has captured over the last few months, particularly on the western outskirts of Aleppo and also in Idlib, including Saraqib. Now, the Syrian government is saying this is absolutely not going to happen, which leaves the potential for a full-blown regional confrontation there. But as far as Turkey is concerned, especially from the words of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan today, this is it. From now onwards, this is going to be the final and ultimate call of the Turkish government. And when you see the build-up of the Turkish military in Idlib, when you see the latest development, the massive backing for the Syrian National Army, which is the main opposition group in the ground, this gives you an indication that the Turkish government could be aiming for the second option, which is stronger military involvement in Syria if the situation remains delicate in Idlib. And one of the reasons why the Turkish government is pretty much concerned, they have already about 3 almost 4 million Syrian refugees here in Turkey. And there's about 700,000 Syrian displaced on the border with Turkey. And there are about 4 million civilians trapped in Idlib. The Turkish government is saying there's absolutely no way we can cope with this growing number of people if they decide tomorrow to cross into Turkey.
Right, okay, thank you. Hashim Ahubara there, live in Istanbul. Now let's go to northern Syria and Sinem Kozioğlu. And Sinem, President Erdogan repeatedly says that Syrian government forces have got until the end of the month, the end of February, to withdraw back beyond Turkish observation posts in Idlib province. I mean, how much distance are we talking about? And is there any indication that Syrian forces are turning around?
Well, Martin, the borders of the de-escalation zone was agreed depending on the Astana and Sochi deals that was between Turkey, Russia, Iran and Syrian government. And Turkey has already been conducting a backdoor diplomacy with Syria. The intelligence chief of both countries met each other in Moscow in the latest Astana meeting. But however, we see that the Syrian government doesn't recognize the de-escalation zone criteria. Actually, when I speak to some experts, they were telling me that after the last meeting in Moscow recently, which was almost 2 weeks ago, everybody unwillingly accepted that or knew that the Syrian government would advance towards the M5 highway, which is vital for both the Syrian opposition and the Syrian government, as it's the artery of the country. But it wasn't expected that the Syrian government would advance above the M5 highway by taking over Sarakab. And when they tried to move towards Sarakab, that was when the Turkish military established some extra outposts, observation posts, in order to protect its own military posts and the civilians. But however, despite these calls, it seems that the Syrian government is eager to take over all Idlib without recognizing the Idlib de-escalation zone. Because for the Syrian government, whoever is against them, opposing them, are terrorists. This is what President Erdogan has been telling to Russian President Vladimir Putin for a long time, and he has been sharing this with the Turkish media recently. That's why Turkey is afraid that Syrian government, if they take over all Idlib, they will not give a large space for the civilians here. And Turkey is, of course, concerned with the internally displaced people who are accumulated by Turkey-Syria border. There are almost 4 million people stuck inside Idlib, most of whom are by the borders. Hashim also touched this humanitarian tragedy just a couple of minutes ago, and Turkey is trying to take a measure against that, because no one knows what's going to happen when the Syrian government takes over Idlib city center, where there are almost 2.5 million right now. So the situation on the ground is very tense, because both sides seem to be not compromising. But of course, as it has been so far, many things will be depending on what Erdogan and Putin, as two leaders, will discuss and will bring to act. But right now, the Turkey continues its reinforcements. The convoys are still bringing reinforcements to the area, and the Syrian government is enhancing its positions in these areas, and clashes underway. And from where I am standing right now in Bab al-Hawa, I've been hearing rockets launching in Al-Attar, which is just 17 kilometers away, and no one has heard any rockets falling there in the last 2 years. So we are at the brink of a very difficult situation. What diplomacy is going to bring is going to be seen on the ground, Martin.
Sinem Kozioğlu there live in Bab al-Hawa. Now, US Senator Bernie Sanders has narrowly beaten Pete Buttigieg in the New Hampshire primary as the Democratic Party begins choosing a presidential nominee to run against Donald Trump in November. But the race remains wide open, despite the once favourite Joe Biden coming in 5th place. Al Jazeera's Patty Culhane was there for the Sanders victory speech in Manchester.
He was expected to win, and he did.
Now, our campaign is not just about beating Trump It is about transforming this country. It is about having the courage to take on Wall Street, the insurance companies, the drug companies, the fossil fuel industry, the military-industrial complex.
Not far behind, former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg, a relative newcomer.
So many of you decided that a middle-class mayor and a veteran from the industrial Midwest was the right choice to take on this president, not in spite of that experience, but because of it.
These were not the expected frontrunners, but with former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Elizabeth Warren faltering, new faces came to the front. Voters said that was a big reason so many were undecided up until the last minute.
Some of the frontrunners, I'm not sure. I think their ideas are good, but I'm not sure they have the right path and they have the right ideas. So I think that's why people are now leaning this way and kind of at this last minute, like, this is a strong possibility here.
Coming in third, another unexpected candidate moves to the front of the pack, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar.
I'm Amy Klobuchar, and I will beat Donald Trump.
New Hampshire is important for momentum, attention, and money raised.
Clear tonight from the numbers that we are not going to win this race.
Two of the lesser-known candidates quit after this vote, but all of the top contenders said they were staying in.
It ain't over, man. We're just getting started.
We still have 98% of our delegates for our nomination up for grabs, and Americans in every part of the country are going to make their voices heard.
In exit polls, Democratic voters made clear their #1 priority is finding someone who can beat Donald Trump. But they're split on the best way to do that, from the far left or the center. Leaving New Hampshire, it's still not clear which camp will win in the end. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Now we're getting reports of 2 explosions having occurred in the Netherlands. Suspected letter bombs appear to have exploded at mailrooms in the Dutch capital Amsterdam as well as in Kerkrade. Police say so far there are no injuries. Now, letter bombs were delivered to companies in Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Utrecht and Maastricht last month, but none of those exploded. So that's a story we'll be keeping our eye on and bring you more